but he is full-time in-game calling for them as well. So this is going to be a curious one. We are live into this. NiP are going to be on the CT side, Fnatic on the T side. And Henry, as this is your boys, why don't you take it away?
Forest going aggressive. He's joined by Exist as well. It's 5 players for Fnatic towards middle. It's a full-on rush here. 5 sets of armor as well. Frags coming in straight away. Forest opens things up, but it's going to be Exist chiming in from Arch as well. It's going to be a 3-on-4 actually. And Flusher trying to retrieve this kill towards the outside, but denied so far. And the bomb actually left towards the top of middle. Right now, it looks like Fnatic just trying to work frags here. And you mentioned it. Exist stepping up massively. Gets his 3rd kill of the round as well. Looking like Freiburg wants to finish things off quickly. He gets taken down, and now it's just JW. But what a round by Exist there. Very calm, very controlled, and gets 3 lovely headshots as well.
Always great to see Exist be able to put a smile on your face, Henry, because I know you support these guys from the absolute bottom of your heart. And seeing Exist being already step up to the forefront is going to be a great sort of canter into this round. But already, let's kind of take stock of this. The one thing is that everyone kind of noted once Threat came on board was the mentality, the kind of composure their T side's mainly constructed of. So I'm hoping we get to see maybe a little bit of that reflected into the CT side, as they already seem to have these sort of plans in mind with that play peeking down towards second mid with the follow of the flash.
So it's almost a mirror situation what we saw against Luminosity, right? Fnatic lost the pistol, didn't get the bomb down. Same things happened here, but they came back and won this round pretty convincingly. It was Olofmeister that opened things up with a Deagle last time, opted for the Tech 9, and not going to find that first kill, but does do decent damage towards Exist now. It's 3 players towards the top of middle with the bomb as well, make it 4. And Exist with that M4 as well, just trying to get some damage and bait in. Get right, he's playing towards the cubby.
Toying with them. Get Right needs to be that king of spray right now. He did miss actually a good couple of shots there, and they are getting pretty low on this. Get Right's on 6 HP. They do get the kills, but that does start looking a little bit dangerous when the fallback plan was an SMG in the hands of Forest. It'll probably go pretty well in the end, but still.
At least frags were exchanged this time, right? It wasn't just a clean-cut Olofmeister headshot coming in. They found the man advantage. Get Right, of course, has gone down to 6 HP, but they have control of the situation. Forest is rotated in with that MP9, looking to retrieve the next kill here. Actually gets the M4 as well. And you can see with no real grenades here, Fnatic is trying to find that next pick.
He's only got just over, I think, 20 bullets, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see the full clip that he had there, but he's down to 17, so he's, you know, not necessarily a one and done, but he can certainly do some damage here. Not going to get the chance to. Crims will get there first, and then suddenly we've got a little bit of room to breathe. But Get Right is still alive here, just, may I add. But he is alive, and he does at least be able to get to see the information.
But he's the last player on A. He needs to find at least 1 frag here, Lauren. If he goes down without anything being returned, then this is a very difficult situation. He has been spotted as well, doesn't find that first frag, but somehow does take that flusher as well. I have no idea how he didn't get punished for that, but he's going to be delaying them as long as possible. 15 seconds remain. Crims finds Pit though, and it comes down to a 2-on-2. Not out of the woods just yet.
How did Pit allow him to do that? Finally, Freiburg at least keeps it to check, but now it suddenly gets a bit dangerous. And 6 and 7 HP close out that round, and my God, that was deadly. They're going to recover the rifles. I can imagine Freiburg's going to head back around, but Get Right, perfect composure, not losing it at all in Pit, even though he was so low. 6 HP, and he stays on that marker from the first exchanges towards CT Arch after being baited in there from, I think it was Exist, kind of working together in unison. So just about.
Both players on like 5 HP between them, so they managed to survive it, but it definitely was not comfortable. Like I said, Get Right alone in that pit, 6 HP by himself. I thought he was dead to rights. I thought he was done for. As soon as he didn't find that initial kill, I thought, okay, he's definitely going to get taken down from apartments. But somehow gets a kill on the Flusher, and they managed to avoid the second round loss there.
And Pit almost letting a very big, I guess, beginning for Fnatic to build into that one. He needs to be very cautious in this for such a, not necessarily a young player, but a young player in this sort of position. For him, needs to be keeping that composure, and Olof is chomping at the bit to get into this. He's dying to find that pick, but going to be held back for now. Those Deagles, certainly deadly, especially on this map with so many corners and angles that you can utilize them with. And again, NiP going through the full rigmarole of every piece of utility, having to be committed here. Fnatic yet to really make any presence.
Well, they have got 5 Desert Eagles here. Plush has gone down to 14 HP, but nothing really employed so far in terms of tactics. Just going to be working their way towards Banana. Smoked out for now. The JW trying to snap out any CTs here. There's going to be 2 waiting for them. It's going to be Pit and Freiburg. And we'll see whether they're able to hold them off. They've already done a lot of damage on towards Flusher. And they're just waiting for that smoke to dissipate and then hopefully find the 1 dig. And it's going to be Pit that finds the first kill though. He brings it into the 5-on-4 and just buys him a little more time. No pressure applied so far.
Keeping composed. Still, as you said, with the molly there, a couple of flashes. Olof tries to make the play, but Get Right has none of it. So down to 3 now. Fnatic are slowly running out of options and time by this point, and still a good couple of mollies Freiburg has one and Pip has one, so
exactly.
they can buy all the time in the world, and if they have to commit here, they have to run through at least maybe some of this.
Well, they're going to be going back towards mid, it seems. Just keeping one player towards the top of Banana. He's going to be joining them as well. So 25 seconds remain, but get right in a perfect position. Change it up from Arch, and he should be able to find the first kill here. Gets the bomb down as well. Should be the second. There it is. Just going to be Dennis remaining now. Not really many options, but somehow finds that kill onto Forest. That's about all they get for this round, though. It's actually a 4-man for Get right there. So that's it. 3-0. NiP have arrived on the server. Fantastic start. The dream start, I would say, considering the matchup we have right now. And we'll see what kind of buy Fnatic brings to table. JW with $4,800 considering the AWP up. Just from that money participating so quickly, I'd assume he has got it. And he has, so glass cannon here for JW. And no orb for NiP. I think that's probably going to be a common trend on their CT side. I don't see them bringing it out unless they feel like they have to.
Yep. You already have all the players you want to start with a very good beginning. Certainly a nice one to have it on Get Right already. Almost into the double digits here, so big beginning for him. Hopefully he can find some confidence on the back, and actually Pip getting a little bit more aggressive in position. He needs to be cautious here. If he wants to back out of here, they'll certainly have to commit some of that utility as he is just by those sandbags. Maybe needs to be a bit careful here. Fnatic certainly put a lot of weight on taking that control towards Banana, but not going to be able to get it just yet. Those smokes going to keep them fended off, and 3 players on the B site at the moment for NiP, so A looking a little worse for wear, but then again, if it's going to be the likes of Get Right holding it, he's been doing perfectly well thus far.
Meister once again. We saw this time and time again against Luminosity, getting control of the apartments here and seeing if there's anything available. Just scouting it out and seeing whether any CTs will be facing. This time, not going to have any options here. Just going to be getting towards Boiler Room. You can see look at how much passive setup this is from NiP. They've actually got 3 players towards B right now, seeing if they can find that kill, flashing over, smoking out the top, and it's all off. This is dangerous. Once he gets this kind of control, this is where Fnatic are at their best.
Who can keep it in check from NiP? You've got to exist kind of by library at the moment. He was around the back of CT Arch. He was the player at B. Now come back over. The team flash and Fnatic do manage to get him at least at bay for now, but he's going to have his way with at least 2 of Fnatic. Gets shut down by Olaf, and he's the one you pointed out here, and he might be the one to have to keep this one together because finally Get Right comes out from sight, but it's Flusher to push through. Now 1 man left towards this. This Forest, he's not quite had the perfect angle towards Crimson, and the bomb's actually going to go down, so Flusher making the most of a bad situation. And now 1v3, he shouldn't be allowed a chance into this one. But then again, it's Flusher. And we've seen weirder things from this man. And if they line up for him, he can get deadly. And there we go, there's 2. He doesn't get the swing out on the 3rd. And Forest just about clutching at straws, keeping that one together. Get that important gun round the board. But how close can 1 round get?
It's always so scary when Flusher finds those kind of opportune moments. The crouch spray comes in so perfectly controlled as well. Forest, pretty much easy kill towards the end. But how uncomfortable was that towards the NiP? Like a 3-on-1 situation going down to the 1-on-1. And there's Forest as the hero there. It's actually Exist who played a perfect game from Library. Like, he didn't really have much to work with. And I was about to say, it's Exist normally on this map that brings out the auto sniper. This is like one of the few maps to do it. Go towards the top of middle and spam through the smoke. And it's actually a really cool time to do it. You can see there's 5 AKs out for Fnatic using that lost bonus. And they probably will go for a cheeky face. They won't be expecting a sniper rifle when it's Exist. Unable to capitalize, gets punished for it as well. JW just rips his head off. They're staying a little bit too long there. And that water sniper looks a little bit silly now as it is a 5-on-4 in favor of Fnatic.
A fine line between confidence and a little bit of an overstay, and now Forest is going to be the one to try and slow this down. And actually, good control coming in from the balcony. Stunning little follow-up shot there. And Forest about to close down on Crims. Doesn't quite have the angle. And now it's Get Right in position on the side. He's got support. A little late, maybe, from Library, and JW's waiting so patiently. Pit, you better check this. If JW has the lineup, he's going to take it. But actually, Pit recovers well, and Get Right closes it down. Again, Fnatic stepping in and getting shut down. Let's take stock of what we've seen so far, because it's very easy to kind of see how close these rounds are, and forget that, actually, NiP are up 5 rounds so far.
Absolutely. Maximum loss bonus for Fnatic, but didn't get the bomb down either. So they're going to have $3,400, but it's not really enough to buy with. You can probably get Galils, or you can have no head armor on the AKs. It's not really worth investing into this. You can do like a partial buy, right? So you can do Tech 9's head armor, which is what Fnatic will be bringing to the table. So flashbangs, smoke grenade on towards Flusher. And they have got head armor to work with. So this is another big round from NiP. They can get the 6-0 here. They're in a great position. They have got the auto sniper onto Pip this time. So moving it around the map. They'll be going towards Banana this time. That's going to work out perfectly. He's got the back towards Ema. Gets the first 2 of headshots as well. Gets the 3rd. It's looking really strong here for Pip, but he does get taken down at the end by Dennis.
Stunning stuff from him. That's a nice way for a young man to get himself confident in this game, even if it's just against pistols. You know what Fnatic can be like, and they've had minimal chance of getting anything done after that one. Now Dennis doing what he can, and he is deadly as you like, but so far 2 to his name. God forbid it be any more. They finally keep things in check, and that is 6-0, Henry. This is not bad for NiP. This must be a beautiful sight for you.
Yeah. Why? Am I like the official mascot now for NiP?
Oh, the things you've been saying earlier, yeah.
Yeah, apparently. So. They did alleged things I said. But
it's nice of you to change out the NiP t-shirt at least.
Yeah, right. But there we go. Pit obviously over against Tech9s, but the thing is, up against Fnatic, that's actually really crucial for them not to drop a single player there and actually just make sure they're looking strong and they're shutting down these bomb sites, using that auto sniper effectively as well. I think one player has dropped out. Is that Forest is gone? Yeah. He's had a great game so far as well. His Existed got taken down towards the top and middle. Forest rectifies it, finds 2 kills from the apartments, does damage to the third as well. So everyone seems that they're stepping up across the board here. Get Right's on 12 kills, 1 death. So it's looking really positive so far.
And even though this is groups, and I will always say this is groups at this point,
sure,
because you could never put Fnatic out of this. How terrifying is it going to be if they actually come out of the groups, at least in the initial stages, being 0-2 down on a map like this? Because you don't often see it, and we are going to see the reset coming through for these guys. So that will hopefully be put back to the same marker.
For NiP, losing against Mousesports, that's pretty massive for them. Actually, and now Mousesports, what, up 2-0? They've beaten Mongols, they've beaten NiP. So this is actually kind of an important game for NiP going forward. Like, Mousesports are in great contention going forward to get that 3rd spot. So if NiP can sneak in a win here, that would throw a complete spanner in the works and kind of jumbles everything up again.
Oh, that would be brilliant. And I'm desperately trying not to read into a nice start for NiP, because I've done this before. I've been, hurt in the past, Henry. I can't do it again. NiP, just toy with your heart. I'm sure you know what that's like. And
I do indeed.
I know. JW at least on the AWP this time. We are going to see the auto sniper, so we're Pit. So Exist, bowing out of that one, maybe learning his lesson after the real issue, let's say, he had with the
like I said, he always fakes it towards that mid area. This time, he overcommitted a little bit. Like, when you land the first 2 shots, that's probably when you want to be getting out of there, and he gets punished for it. But Pit now taking quite a lot of nade damage there towards the top of Banana. And it's Fnatic who have got full control here. Actually leaving the bomb towards T-spawn for now. You can see the NiP setup coming in. They've got 3 players towards the quad side of the map as well. So kind of banking on that. Obviously we saw Fnatic go quad side a lot against Luminosity actually. That's where they were getting most of their rounds, to be fair. So this is not a bad call at all. And Flusher, as usual, just trying to bait out any CT grenades here to show their hand towards that area. See if they can bleed the CTs out slightly.
Olaf again, though. He was integral to a couple of the T rounds, especially for Fnatic against Luminosity from this sort of spot. He was able to make a good couple of plays, but it's going to be hard for them to trade out effectively.
Sure.
At least if they do go towards quad, and JW waiting for the jump off on this one. Still does have the AWP. It seems though the clock will run pretty low here for Fnatic. And it's going to be Exist, Get Right. Forest in the back line's waiting for this. But yeah, Fnatic not pushing instantly off the back of this. Taking their time, smoke goes down. Garrett's going to hold, but Exist does need to fall away from this now.
Meister towards the apartment as well, but the rest of his team wrapping around towards Arch. It's going to be Crims taking down Get Right, and now Exist needs to step up, gets the first frag, goes to the reface as well, gets a double, but it is rectified straight away. 3-on-2 now in favour of Fnatic.
And A is all theirs. As soon as Exist and Forest fell, it's gifted to them on a plate. They made an admirable stand, but still, it doesn't matter. Bomb is going to go down. Crims going to go for the plan that may be supporting one of the players here they can make a play from. Now Freiburg and Pit have to weigh up their options.
This is the thing, they need to work out whether this is actually viable for them right now. They do a decent amount of damage to JW, but not going to be facing, you'd assume, from this point. Pit coming in with the auto sniper as well. Same area, just hoping they can find a pick here, but so much discipline coming from Fnatic here, not giving anything away, and it's looking like they will be bowing out of this round. Picking up the AWP as well. This could be an interesting next round, Lauren. They have had 2 sniper rifles going into on Inferno. That's a pretty unorthodox setup. We can see how difficult it can be to retake the bomb sites when you do have a sniper, but bringing 2 of them to the table means you have to, I would say, you have to be quite aggressive at the start of the game. You need to be going for that first pick and trying to make it work for you.
I'm curious to see how that now affects the change-up, because if it is, assuming it's Forest picking up, he's been playing very passive by kind of Pit all the way back. He's going to have to kind of maybe make a switch up on this.
So what I mean by that is, obviously, you can't allow a team to do a full execution. If they get towards the B control and they just do a full wall of smokes and get a bomb down, for example, and it's like a 3-on-3, if you're trying to retake with like 2 sniper rifles, that's such a difficult situation, right? That's why double AWP set up on Inferno, it's very unorthodox. We'll see, well, I should say single AWP and an auto sniper here, but let's see what they can do with it. It's going to be a pretty decent bar after saving those weapons. But Fnatic finally arrive here. It's 6-1. This would be the end of their loss bonus as well. They lose this round as well. So NiP looking to cause some big damage here.
Nice little spot there from JW, just holding a bit of an elevated angle, maybe hoping that if he does get peeked upon, he would only get the leg shot coming through, but not to be the case. Forest going to take, again, quite a passive approach almost to this angle, but holding it nevertheless. And it has been a bit of a problem, the amount of control Fnatic have been getting towards the apartments, and maybe and be trying to get themselves at least into this one. But then again, it's going to be difficult if they do go for these late in the game or late in the round kind of hits. Fnatic's still so deadly on this. Forest will have to be on point.
Well, so far they have got the bedroom control once again. This is where things get interesting. I think Forest holding a more exposed angle now. You can hear the footstep potentially. Smoke's coming now towards the top of middle. They're trying to push the CTs back as much as they can, but Forest still going to be deadly in this position. He can hit towards quad, and potentially face to get a kill, and this could mean everything. 4 players committed towards mid, and it's Exist who's been stepping up massively in this area. Going to be up against it once again.
It does allow GetRight and Exist to focus on this, rather than having to commit towards CT Arch, Quad. So now they can at least try and keep this one to hand, but it's not the case. They get minimal connections through the smoke. Dennis is already starting to break through. He hits a stunner on Exist just on the run, and now they're instantly open towards B. It's down to Pit and Freiburg to keep this one as close as they can. Maybe slow them down 30 seconds. Pitt's going to take the peak. That's pretty dangerous here. He's going to get the information, but suddenly he's the threat, he's the target. And now JW does go down. Freiburg's still laying in wait. Pitt can't make any more of this though. And suddenly here's Fnatic. They're on the side, they're in control. And the rest of NiP are so far away.
Yeah, this is the problem now. Like I said, you've got that AWP and an M4, and it's still 4 players remaining for Fnatic. As soon as that frag went down in CT spawn, his Exist dropped, right? It was, like I said, a fantastic shot from Dennis there to open things up. The auto sniper had to do more work there. He adjusted a little bit too late. As soon as that call comes in, I'm going towards the back of Fountain at that stage. I'm waiting for them to cross over. It seems like there was a bit of hesitation as to how they should adjust, right? It was actually the point they already got crossed towards Truck. He finds one, but then he's got pressure coming from Banana as well. I feel like they needed to adjust the setup as soon as that first kill came in. Then he would have had a real nice chance. That's the perfect weapon for them running around the corner to find maybe 2 or 3 kills there, but he finds one, gets taken down, and at that point it was a little bit too late, but it was a nice idea. It was just poorly executed from Pit, unfortunately. But there we go, Fnatic going through Arch as usual. It's actually 4 players through that CT spawn area. And Flusher coming through, causing chaos as soon as they get their attention spotted as well towards the spawn area. 2 in a row now. And I think that probably has broken the money, but they did save 2 weapons here. So Forest on the AWP, GetRight with the M4A4, but you can't really justify force buy into this one. I think that way kind of being a little bit more conservative here yet. So P2000 and a 5-7 on Freiburg. We're going to come down to your man in the screen right now. Can he find this initial pick?
Would he dare go for this? Surely not, no. He's going to take a little bit of a later peek towards this. Bear in mind, JW is at the bottom of mid, so you can just about see him there holding the sort of angle that Forrest would have to commit to if he wanted that shot. But while this happens, the rest of Fnatic building themselves up throughout the rest of the map. No overcommitment anywhere. A slow build again, and it seems rinse and repeat. This time, though, actually, GetRight takes the control in apartments. That's something that's not happened so far, and actually finding Olaf might be actually a bit of a thorn in the side here.
Well, this is the thing. Olaf's like, we've seen him time and time again, gets control of that area. That's the beginning of their default, right? He gets to that area, gets towards Boiler Room, and then they can start gaining that mid control. But it's GetRight. He's the player with the M4. Knows he had to shut someone down. He takes down one of the biggest scalps on the server. And this is what I'm talking about now. Looking like a Banana XQ coming in. They're going to have 3 players towards there, make it 4 with the bomb as well. So NiP with no grenades here, no kits, and just 2 weapons. This could be devastating for them.
Really good. If maybe Pit or Freiburg can do something, that'd be perfect. And actually, Pit does do just that. Good stuff on him. Not going to be able to find much more, though. That's about all you can ask from a player with just a P250 in that instance. Now, Exist, probably another lamb to the slaughter. Crims will happily chop that one up, and now it's down to Forest and GetRight again. And it's options are plenty. Do they try and keep his hand? Do they commit? Do they try and make more of this one? There are only 3 players standing.
They need to find a kill in the next 5 seconds or so. No kits. And so far, I'm not giving anything away, but Forrest does. He gets taken down. It's Crims that gets the double to finish things off. And it looked promising with GetRight getting that opening kill. But like I said, as soon as they came over towards the B site, the full execution comes in. Pip did what he could with the P250 on the boost on the bomb side, but just wasn't enough. Had he found like a double kill and managed to stay alive, that was potential, right? But unfortunately, like you said, the P250 is quite limited, and its versatility in those kind of situations exists. Stuck behind the smoke by Coils, just gets taken down by the jump as well. So it's 3 in a row now for Fnatic, but look at the buy for Ninjas and Pyjamas this time. We've got a P90, a FAMAS, 1 kit, and we have got 4 smokes, but I feel like it's still a very difficult round for Piers. He's now committed towards the sandbags area. Has got the smoke to kind of delay Fnatic for now, but probably wants to reconsider his options here, considering he hasn't got a teammate with him.
I'm wondering if they do get that full buy next time around, they'll try and challenge out. And actually, did Flusher just get team damage from that? I don't know if that was Freiburg. I don't think it was, or Pit. I'm not too sure. But then again, whatever it was, he's down to 20 HP now, so maybe a little bit more softened up. But this Molly's going to once again cut off Pit, but he does make it back out alive, just about maybe getting a little bit roasted at the toes. But so far, it seems like Fnatic are once again turning their attention towards A. And to be honest, since they've started to pick up a couple of rounds, it's been relatively successful, especially through CT Arch. This time, Forest being, Exist being more active in it, and those Mollies are going to hold them back a second.
Sure. Quite a lot of damage inflicted to Flush. He's done that to 20 HP, but looking like they're going to be slowly making their way back towards mid again. It's GetRight with the P90 on the site. Good weapon at close range proximity. If you can keep the battles on the bomb site, you actually could do something with that. But it's Forest. It's going to come down to this man on your screen right now. Actually making their way towards Arch. Maybe Exist could be challenged again.
First time we've had Pit come over this early as well. They're reading the play, but Dennis again, he has been so big in these rounds. Pit tries to do everything possible. He picks up 2. That's pretty decent play from him. Now Get Right can upgrade to this, and they've got the bomb towards him. NiP know that, but can they find any more? Flusher has taken down one, and now Forest has to be pivotal in this. He knows he's being pinned, he knows he's being worked out against, he knows roughly where Flusher is as well. But can he find any more? No, JW pins him to the floor, and suddenly it's Freiburg who has to be the one. And again, it's not looking good.
That's the thing, he hasn't got a kit, he has got an incendiary to play with, and both players are relatively low, especially Flusher. Doing what he can hit, that's the opportunity. How do you hit that shot? Maybe he could have done something with this, but unfortunately now it's going to be very difficult procedure indeed. You can see Flusher doesn't really want to face this yet, but that's the incendiary coming in. That's actually going to do some impressive work, but JW, of course, just goes to the shot straight up, doesn't run into cover, and takes him down. He does burn and get punished for it, but you can see that's 4 rounds in a row for Fnatic now, and NiP getting $2,900 into the bank. Don't really have much to work with on. They're going to have to go for another eco here, and that's 6-0 start, starting to kind of disappear now, slowly but surely.
Don't worry, Henry, they'll be okay.
Yeah? Promise?
I'm not promising anything, but we'll see.
Well, now we can see Olaf now. They're reading the situation and the money perfectly. He gets the Mac 10 out, means he can be that recon player. Going into situations first and looking out for the stacks. If he dies, it's not a huge deal. Obviously, the Mac 10 not too efficient against head-armored players, but we'll see what they can do with this one. No real stack coming in from NiP. Just going to be playing pretty much default setup. One player towards Boiler Room, and 2 towards B with the Eagle. Freiburg trying to make something happen here, but one will be Molotov out of position.
He's getting away unscathed, I guess, is a small blessing. And Olaf kind of reading into the fact that last time around the NiP had limited amounts to work with. Get Right pushed for the kill on towards him. And again, Olaf's just going to take his time, maybe take a different approach, try and find a new way to utilize that Mac 10 and find whomever may stand in his path. But so far, he's just going to pull up as well. He's going to be towards, well, just playing on the corner, trying to use these CZs and whatever they have in the best capacity. But again, Fnatic just wandering in, looking towards CT Arch. Now, Olaf is the one holding the back lines here. Now, if anyone walks towards quad, there is a nice little crossfire setup, but absolutely no one is.
Well, okay. This is how methodical they're being right now, smoking off the arch, making off library, making sure they clear every single angle out here. Just making sure Dennis has been so great at his opening frags as well. Once again, takes down Forest, bomb sites open, the CTs don't really have any control of the situation, and JW is clearing up any rotations as well exist. He started off really strong towards that arch area, now he's actually been one of the players that's falling first pretty consistently. JW gets his second, and now just Pitts and Freiburg remain 5 on 2, but not really much to work with, you have to say, and it's going to be another easy kill there for Olafmeister. And now Freiburg does hit a lovely shot there with the Eagle onto JW, and it won't be saving his all, that's for sure. And he does get taken down as well. But 5 rounds in a row for Fnatic, maximum loss bonus for NiP now. So definitely a decent buy coming in. And what will they be bringing out a sniper, do we think? Exist? Could get the auto sniper again if he wanted to. Thinking about it, but we'll be sticking to 5 rifles here.
Didn't go so well before, so time to readjust, go back to what I was working on the full buys. To be fair, since Exist has actually not been able to stop them so much in CT Arch. It's not his fault. I think that's, you know, obviously putting a little bit too much on him, but you know, since they've been able to abuse that a little more, they have been losing out these rounds, so maybe they're going to try to get back to what was working previously.
So far, their rotations haven't been fantastic, I feel like. It feels like...
Once Pit was there on time.
Yeah, right, and it's just like, it's always Exist up against like 2 or 3 players as they're coming round. They're not really reading the situation, not gathering enough intel towards Banana. It's always 2 players there. The bomb's going down before these guys are even rotating in. They have them rotate through smoke and stuff, but let's see if they can adjust that now. That's 5 rounds in a row for Fnatic. It was a 6-0 deficit to kick things off.
You look at the difference. Okay, so Luminosity had a defensive posture, at least on A. They played that on the CT side, but they're always pushing for that information throughout B, you know, going down Banana, trying to find that, or getting some control in apps.
They were happy to leave 1 player there, and he was even pushing down Banana, right? He was coming in with a pincer. Instead of rotating through spawn and being locked out, he's making things a little bit more creative, giving them more options there. It's definitely high risk, but sometimes if you lose the first man, you need to be taking those risks and trying to get intel there. But JW just shoots Kriv in the stomach there, so it doesn't do too much damage, but there we go. And once again, looking for that mid control. You can see NiP now they only have 1 smoke and some flashbangs remaining. Olaf got to the end of apartments as well. He's looking for that first pick. And they're actually going back towards B as well. And this is where the rotations have actually come in for once, but this time he's just going to leave 1 player towards B. I think it's Freiburg, you know, so he's there by himself. And what kind of utility he's got? He's an incendiary, so if they give himself away, hopefully he can hold them off and do some decent damage here. But here's the split once again.
Oh, Jesus, JW just goes for it. Pitt's going to know that maybe this is the pincer coming in. He needs to get back to B suddenly. And you can see just Olaf right at his heels. Not quite quick enough Exist on the trigger there now. And Freiburg has to slow them down, has to play time and whiffs everything. There was 15 seconds to hold. And he just does nothing in regards to that. Now, sure, actually Fnatic are pretty low, but they've got the bomb down and once again set up well on the site.
It's pretty poor positioning there from Freiburg, I'm afraid. You need to be finding at least one in that kind of position, and he's just getting swarmed. Does decent damage through the coils, but that's pretty much about it. Need to be finding at least one frag there, but still a 3-on-3. They can do something with this, but Dennis, this continuing true to form, gets a sick double there, and now just Exist remains. Does manage to pick up Flusher, but running out of time here. Needs to find his next 2 kills and defuse a bomb. You feel like this is almost impossible. Does make it competitive at least. Crim's the one to shut him down, but Dennis, he's the one to lead the charge in that one. And the problem is for Freiburg right now, he's on 4 for 8. We talk about this being a new year for him and kind of bouncing back and showing that old form we saw many years ago.
Many years ago.
But unfortunately not finding a single frag there. And it's a real big problem. When you have an anchor on the B bomb site, you need to know he's good for at least 1 frag. He needs to be doing something with it.
Look at Fnatic, you've got Crims, right?
Yeah.
And now coupled with Olofmeister, a massive duo, but still you see the specialty players, and when they excel, it becomes such an easier way to play out the rest of the map. And if one of them's not performing, it can be exploited. And again, Freiburg just not quite being as present as maybe you'd hoped into that round. This time around, only Exist there with the rifle.
There we go. Exist, like you said, has got the M4. 4 players on upgraded pistols as well. 5.7s and CZs. It is CZs, Lauren, you're not American.
Thanks for reminding me, Henry.
Just in case you forgot.
Did you have anything else to add, or are you
no,
really
just wanted to
chuffed
know.
with
It
that
kind
one?
of annoyed me when you said CZs. So.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry that I, you know, mildly annoyed you. We'll get Seneca back here soon, you know, it's fine.
No, I like hustling with you.
Don't need to lie now, Henry. There's no need for that. All right, 94. Gerai has at least recovered the rifle from the fallen teammate. And, well, at the moment, 50 seconds left. It's not looking so good for NiP at this point.
Well, still have Get Right on the M4. Obviously can be a very dangerous player in these situations. If he can find a frag like he did in Apartments before, maybe he can make something work here. And you can see NiP's playing behind the smoke now. Crims does smell them, though. Trying to run off the shots, and that's the 5.7's given away, at least. They're trying to retaliate. 6-6 of Forest, going for more of an aggressive play towards the Apartments there. Does get taken down by Dennis.
Alrighty, Get Right, what can you do here? You've certainly come up big before with these rounds. You've got to do it again, my friend. Once again into the breach, he does get 1, but he expected another play from the Apartments. It wasn't to be. They had already placed themselves towards quad. Your last man standing is going to be Freiburg. He's only got the 5.7 to hand and not a lot to reach for that gun. The Get Right dropped is well out of control. Dennis isn't exactly accessible at this point, and already Crims, he knows what's up.
I think he does.
Yeah.
Freiburg.
Can he smell him again?
You like that one?
It was exceptional.
Yeah, good. Freiburg does manage to take one. Now we'll get a double as well by the looks of things. Surely, there it is. And that'll be a mere confidence boost at this stage. He has had a very quiet game, it has to be said. And that's actually going to be 7 rounds in a row for Fnatic now. We talk about this fantastic start, and you said they've broken your hearts many times before, and you've had this kind of confidence in them. And Freiburg's making this round, I guess, interesting. Gets 3 kills, but I think the money at this stage for Fnatic's going to be out of control. But he gets an AWP, and that boosts NiP going into the next one. And yeah, you can see the money for Fnatic of 14k on Crims, 7k on Dennis after rebuying as well. Flushy yet to buy, so that's fine. Doesn't really make that much of a difference. And here's the, I guess, the replay of some, I guess, some exit frags. Probably get this off the screen.
Yeah. It's fine. We'll just watch this real slow. Oh, how exciting. Well, that was good. That was good. Like that a lot. But as you said, great economy for the TSO right now, which is, of course, Fnatic. They've got everything they want in this one. Now, Exist picking up the AWP. It's a little bit different. We saw him with the auto sniper earlier. Didn't go too well, but then again, maybe this is the what he wanted here. Maybe this is what he. This is
weird. This is what I'm talking about.
This is weird.
This is like Exist is definitely not known for his AWPing capabilities, right? And when they talk about in the video, we haven't got a dedicated AWPer. This is a bad sign when it's Exist taking him off the role. Like, I've only ever seen him use an auto sniper. It's never really been an AWPer, but aggressive play coming from Pit here. That's actually much nicer. They're actually going for a flash and taking the game towards Fnatic and not giving them all this control at the start of the round. Exist, as we just called him out, picks up an AWP frag as well, takes down Olofmeister, and finally, some signs of life here for NiP after 7 rounds in a row going in favor of Fnatic. They have a huge advantage here.
But then Dennis is still up, and Dennis has been doing dirty things right now. It's actually Crims who's the one to do the work, at least for this point, and there we go. Another one comes in. Crims finds 2. Sights theirs. They've got 50 seconds left as well. The bomb has been recovered. There is a player working his way around. Will Forest stop the plant? No, it's going to go down no matter what he does now. Position given away. He gets picked up. Crims is on 3. It's down to a 2v2. Henry's heart is about to be shattered if this goes the way of Fnatic. Exist trying to give away his presence, trying to work the crossfire in with Get Right, but I don't know how much he can do here. As you said, not exactly known for his AWPing ability, but going to have to step up to the plate this time.
Well, he smoked himself out of position there. This is actually a little bit of a problem. He doesn't have a chance to take that frag down. Flush going to sit in that smoke now. It's all up to Get Right. As he's coming in, they are going to hear and gets the first one, but the bomb's ticking away. Flush gets a second frag. Exist does get it. I think he's got just about enough time. Yeah, it should be fine. I was building up a little bit too much exciting there. But the thing is, I was only disappointed in that one because it's when you get a 5-on-3 like that, once again, Freiburg doesn't find a single kill on towards the B side, gets taken down again, and it's how is Crims able to get that many frags? 3 kills on the B bomb side after losing the first 2. That just shouldn't be happening. They should be locked down. As soon as that first kill comes in, it should be refacing together and making sure there's not even an opportunity to plant there. And they lose so many players, comes down to another 1-on-1. And considering where they are right now, that's going to be so difficult to buy up in this round. It actually sets up Fnatic quite nicely. They get the extra $100 with the bomb plant. They took down 4 with them. Exist does save the AWP, but this is a massive round going forward. You can see NiP
double AWP on the T side.
I guess it is last round, right?
Why
They want to kind of just go a little bit crazy, go nuts. They got the cash for it. Why not?
And this is the thing, you know, someone was saying that, you know, if you're Fnatic, you'd be pretty pissed off after how the last game went, right? And then you come into this, you go, was it 6-0?
Yeah.
Down? I'm terrified.
Coming back to win the half potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
After going down 6-0. But this is the bar I'm talking about. It was a round going in favor of NiP, but they got a UMP now on towards Get Right. Hits on a Pyjamas. You can see, haven't got head armor, not on a massive deal, obviously, against AKs, but I was going to show you where they are. But JW has helped himself to a kill there, top middle, running through the initial incendiary and finds that kill onto Get Right. That UMP, I'm not really sure why you're holding that kind of angle with the UMP, but he's going to be going for it and gets punished for it as well. He'd normally be hiding in very close range proximity, holding like maybe towards the arch or hiding in the library. Why you're facing that angle, I don't really know, but there we go. I guess he was kind of waiting for that smoke to bloom, just didn't anticipate a player to come running up like that. But you're against JW, my friend, you need to be aware that might be a possibility.
There's always a chance that he can pull something off like that. And then there's every other player who can pull that sort of stuff out. So
look at the reaction from the CTs. They've actually opted to leave Pit alone towards the B-bomb side. It's been a very disappointing area for NiP, but it's going to be him holding it. Freiburg's rotated around towards Library, but Fnatic now just dissecting the map piece by piece, smoking off towards Arch, and you would assume this is kind of interesting from JW, just jumps across. You would have thought he would have just gone for this straight up AWP face there, but trying to see if anyone will be facing him.
His aggression is absolutely relentless at this point, and Exist is going to have to deal with 3 of them coming through. He knows they're here. He's going to see the smoke coming in. He's face to face, and of course it's JW to hit the shot towards him. And now Pit and Freiburg, the B duo. Maybe the B team duo at this point have to do the heavy lifting.
From what I've seen so far, this is not the guys you want against Fnatic in a 2-on-4 situation. Well, as you said, that Freiburg gets 1, Pit does get taken down. Freiburg getting 2.
That's his 3rd.
It's not a kit though, picks up a kit. And Dennis and Olaf, not a combination you want to go up against, but let's see what Freiburg can do. Can he roll back the years here?
Olaf just holding back from making these shots count. He actually gets the tag there, Freiburg.
Okay.
Gets the shot. All right, Freiburg, we doubted you. We'll take this back instantly. He's got 21 bullets. He's got a kit, but he needs to get the ace, and it's Dennis. 1v1, 3 seconds on the plot. He does come off it, but it's Dennis to close it down and deny the hero play from Freiburg.
Oh, you hate to see it like that, right? They go 6-0 like up and then lose the half, like on the CT side of Inferno. That's pretty heartbreaking for anyone. And they managed to pick up that last round, came down to that 1-on-1, and like I said, going into this round number 15, they just didn't have enough to work with. They had UMPs and Get Right with that kind of questionable angle he was holding, and then there's a Pyjamas. Comes down to the 4-on-2. Freiburg did what he could, but kind of redundant in the end. Brought that to 1-on-1, but it's almost an impossible situation. As soon as he went for the full defuse, there's no reason for Dennis not to face that. Even if he dies, Freiburg didn't have enough time to defuse at that point. So pretty simple procedure for Dennis to win the round, and it's going to be 8-7 in favour of Fnatic. So always bouncing back. They always say, whatever the situation, we're always confident in our ability. As soon as they got that round number 1, that was it. 7 in a row, lose 1, and come back at the last as well.
See, the things that other teams always say this, you know, when you do the interviews, like, oh, guys, when you're down, how do you feel? Like, oh, we always believe in ourselves. So it's like these guys actually can do as well with, you know, warranted reason. It's unbelievable to watch you guys turn it around. They're about one of the only teams that at least comes to my mind that can do it from such a deficit on such a regular basis.
You can just see, like,
Freiburg's had enough of
that B-bomb side, man, that needs some serious work. Like I said, if you're going to have, like, play positions like B, like someone is so influential, and obviously it's going to be situations you're there by yourself. It seemed like time and time again, the Freiburg wasn't able to pick up a single frag as they're coming to the bomb site. Like, you need to be taking one down. I can't stress that enough. If you're going to be left there alone, you need to be confident in your ability. You need to have the strength to hold it off. Just take one player down, delay them as much as possible, get information for your teammates. But it just seemed like they were almost bullying him in that bomb site. He did have some moments on the save. Like, the frags he got in this half don't really reflect his performance. I remember he picked up like 3 save kills, and then towards the end there made it competitive. He got through another 3, but they were almost redundant frags. If they're not actually winning you rounds, it's kind of pointless at that stage.
And this is the thing, isn't it? Because you look at sides like that, which aren't necessarily where your superstars are playing. You know, it's not where your JW is. It's not where they're making these huge plays. But then you look at Crims. He's like the man of consistency. You look at maybe Zipnix as well, who's been having a big turn up as well. These kind of solo player sites are specialists at doing this. And at the moment, NiP just aren't seeming to keep up with that at the moment. Now, of course, that can change. This is a very, I guess, condemning view of their B-hold on Inferno, but it's not something new. It's not something that we're just discovering now that it has flaws, and it seems like
it's just such
yet to fix
an important part of the map, right? The analysis
one of
discussed
the
before.
2 bomb sites.
Well, I mean, like that specifically, like in terms of like it's an area you're left by yourself, right? Sometimes you like, and that's why you see players like ZipX and people like that, like when they hold Mirage on, for example, on the CT side, like you know they're always good for 1 or 2 frags in those sort of situations, right? They're always going to deliver and take at least 1 player down with them. If you're not doing that, you're not really playing that position correctly. You need to be kind of maybe think about your setup and whether this is actually the correct one with the team you have.
And coming full circle, when Freiburg was prolific at doing it, because he had a prolific time at being, you know, the king of banana, quote unquote, he was extraordinarily good, and it did equate to a lot of good games for them. But it was a long time ago now.
It didn't really adjust too much. We saw the auto sniper come in for pit a couple of times, and like against the Tech 9s, it looked very strong, and he was taking heads down. But when it actually came to the gun rounds, they didn't really employ anything too interesting. I think they sent 3 players towards that side once, but they weren't like showing some like classic aggression. We weren't seeing like smokes down towards the bottom. Obviously, that's not as
I didn't see them actually taking control once.
That's fine. Like, it's not as viable anymore. But you like to see it chucked in at least once a half, just to kind of like just get in there, and you know they're going for a lot of banana control, going trying to find those first frags of 3 players, trying to some incendiaries down, and just kind of like find that first frag and then fall back. But we saw Luminosity doing that plenty of times. We remember Ferg burning alive after finding that first frag. Like, that's his example, to go for that first kill and then force back. But anyway, we are in the second half. Slight delay there. Smoke's going towards the top of middle and a decoy as well.
Dennis is going walkabouts. Henry, this scares me, Henry.
No, he loves this kind of play, but Pitt's ready for it though, and he actually capitalizes as well. So Dennis, a little bit audacious, I guess, and we have got LG joining the server as well.
Nice of Luminosity to help him out. They're like, guys, we know how this works. We'll give you a hand. Don't worry.
We've done this. They've actually joined the team as well. What is this?
Oh, guys,
Fallen's joined.
Fallen, what are you doing? Admins.
Okay, we've got Fallen. Why would you join a team after you see it?
I don't
Press
know.
tab, see what's going on. There's obviously players running around. Oh my god, this is unbelievable scenes.
That is literally the biggest way to tell
That's like the equivalent like a streaker coming onto a football pitch. Like someone that's joined the server and has joined the team.
LG to streakers.
I'm just saying, like, what is this? So how is that even a thing?
I don't know how you get that far into just sat and sort of like, there's something seems weird.
Yeah, like when you join, you see players running around playing a game of Counter-Strike. Don't just go, oh, I'll just join terrorist. You probably go, oh, maybe I should press tab here. I'm at a LAN that's actually very important to these teams, and I'm actually going to join a team.
And how annoying is that for NiP? They had a great start as well.
I think they will reset the round. They'll probably give the kill away. I think we're back into it. Can you go back to the game, please? Yeah, so we're still... Oh, no. What's going on here?
I don't know. I want to get confirmation as to what's happening, because much pit is it wonderful.
It looks like we can see a lot of JW questioning what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I think we need clarification on what happened there, so guys, we can kind of...
This is the thing. I think you should be resetting the rounding, just giving that kill away to Dennis at the beginning. Then you kind of... That's the most sportsman way to do it. Like, this was very confusing. This changed the pace of the round, obviously. Like, everyone's typing. No one really knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And at this point, you probably should be, like, considering how you go forward at this one. But it's going to be NiP to take the round. To be fair, they probably would have done anyway, considering our first pick, but still, like, this is a very questionable situation.
Okay, so I do believe we've had some confirmation on that. We are just waiting on the admins to try and find out as to what they want to do about this and how it's going to go down. So once the admins let us know, we'll let you guys know. For now, I guess we can assume that we'll say this is how it went for now, but there might be changes coming up in a second. So
we'll definitely have a pause now.
Yes, please.
And oh, maybe we're not.
Why? What is? Don't go out to the players.
I think.
Okay, they're just going on apparently. All right, Fnatic just gonna say, okay, let's go.
Like I said, like NiP probably would have won that round considering they got the first pick, but you never know. Like that definitely did make things a bit confusing and probably change the outcome, some subtle differences in timings and stuff. But
Okay, let's reset and just take it as it is. NiP are now 8-8. They're on the T side, of course, and the one thing that everyone was saying coming into this is the mentality, the kind of pacing that now NiP bring to their T side since Threat has now come on board as someone who's influential. And a lot of teams that have these kind of prolific in-game leaders do seem to have a little bit more to bring on their T side, at least, in the way of seeing the kind of fluency of it. So I'm hoping we get to see that brought through. We're going to have the 2 rifles, 3 SMGs coming out, a hell of a lot of mollies to boot as well, and already Pip can be the one to try and take some control towards Banana with Freiburg. Both of them working their way up, so a little bit of a unison beginning between these two.
Yeah, 3 SMGs, and you can see the full buy coming in from Fnatic pretty much. They've got CZs and a 5-7. HG grenade and a flashbang, but not coming in so far. Going to be a pretty standard setup. You can see Forest coming up first here towards middle with the MAC-10. Going to be more topping off towards the cubby and seeing if anyone will drop out here, but Flush is on the other side. Even know Fnatic how deadly they can be with these pistols.
Lovely close angles being held as well. It's going to be a cautious approach, let's say, from NiP in this one, considering they still have 2 mollies left. They can clear out a couple more corners, and I'm hoping they do this as well, because you've got to understand that Fnatic are going to be close by. And there you go. You can see almost instant reflex coming out from Fnatic then. JW almost quickly goes into a Dennis, the one waiting in there, and he makes the most of it. That's 2 back-to-back kills for him. Suddenly NiP not looking so great in this 3v3. They are working towards the side, but it's Flush's turn. And luckily for NiP, I guess, is Exist hitting that shot quickly.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous man of that pistol is going to be Flusher. He's caught out of position by Exist, and the bomb gets planted as well. With no kits, Olofmeister managing to retrieve an AK, and Crims gets a MAC-10 as well. So definitely something to work with next round. They're not going to win this one, but they're going to be kind of just saying, well, you know what, we can't do this, so let's take these weapons to the next round and see what kind of damage we can cause. Olofmeister with an AK-47 in any situation is always going to be a thorn in any team's side, so let's see what he can do next round. But pretty clean from NiP, I guess. They had an SMG heavy buy, and once again, they win the pistol, get the second round, and presumably going to get the third as well, but that's the similar start we saw in the first half before it went horribly wrong.
Yeah, the 6 rounds look so convincing, and then all of a sudden not. But a good start here for NiP, at least onto the T side. And if keeping, you know, if as long as they keep this up, we're going to have a good game on our hands. This is the thing, I never like to read into NiP until they get that 16th round, because it always feels they're on a knife edge of losing these games, especially when you're looking at Fnatic. They do have historically quite close matchups, sometimes uncharacteristically so for NiP's performance outside of them. But this is what you want to be seeing. Now looking at this, actually Pitt's having a bit of a good game here.
Yeah, she is 17 kills. That's I think he dropped about 7 against Mouseport. So there was some questions around him, like his first debut land for NiP. Obviously that was the first game, but he seems to be warming up into it. And NiP are actually in the lead right now as well. 9-8 against 3 pistols. Whoa, 3 pistols and a MAC-10, and Olofmeister, like I said, on the AK-47. Aggressive, of course, trying to find this first kill. It's going to be Pitt in the underpass there. Going to be getting away with his life for now. And they still have 2 SMGs on towards NiP.
And I like the way he shows, okay, I've got the AK, I'm on A, and instantly starts looking towards B. It's so nice the way he's playing this out as well. He showed that, okay, you know, guys, maybe you don't want to go towards A, maybe you want to try B.
What's Crims doing?
Crims doesn't know what he's doing. He's just chilling out. All right, he's got the MAC-10. He's having a great time. But again, they've just gone back to default, slowing down the pace by showing that initial hand. And look at actually going to stack out this B side, maybe reading that, okay, NiP might try and hit this B side.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like you said, they're showing presence for the AK towards middle, and they're kind of taking a little bit of a risk here, saying, let's just go stack towards B and hope they're going to be scared of that AK.
You may as well at this point stack things out. You do, of course, have that MAC-10 and the rifle, but outside of that, you are working with very little, almost no utility. Now, Dennis has gone down, so NiP's still looking hesitant, though. There's 45 seconds left, and you
This is okay, right? They're waiting for the CT reaction to come in, right? There's still plenty of time. It's not like it's got to the danger zone in like 20 seconds. They're seeing if there's anyone going to be facing again from the CT side, and actually got full control of the A bomb site now. This would be a very clinical procedure for them. At this point, as soon as the bomb's planted, the CTs will probably just save that AK. And probably not the MAC-10, but they'll just save that AK and kind of bow out of the round. Maybe try and go some exit kills here, but they can tell us pretty much everything. They know what's going on.
Yep, get right. The one with the MAC-10. There is another SMG with Pitt. But he's the one looking for these kills. He spotted out Flusher. Flusher's probably spotted him. So it's a horrible stalemate of where do I look, left or right? You know there's going to be a crossfire waiting for you, and Crims is actually joining him on the other side, and Get Right's in that horrible predicament. I kind of want to go for this, but it's probably not going to go so well. Pitt does at least help him out there from CT Arch, so he knows that now he should be able to just check towards the right, and he does manage to find Flusher, so it's just down to JW to make any sort of financial impact, but I doubt he's going to have too much luck. Let's see, maybe he can... Ooh.
He knows where that AK is, but...
Ooh.
Oh god, Freiburg. Okay, that could have been horrible timing.
God, Freiburg.
Yeah, keep your eye on the prize. I mean, that's the motto. And manages to rectify it and takes down the last player trying to get that AK-47, but 3 in a row once again for NiP. They go to 10-8 here, and you can see the force buy in the second round affecting Fnatic pretty heavily here. Not a single kit. They've got a Famis on Crims as well, so another real chance here for NiP to push forward.
Does get right upgrade as well. I think he's going to stick on the Mac 10.
It's fine though, but look at the head.
Exactly.
There's no head armor for the CT. It's actually very viable now. Like if you can get in close range and find some headshots, that's actually kind of sick. And it's actually a pretty good weapon on Inferno. Lots of tight angles you can get into, and we'll see what happens there.
In Dubai, he was adamant he wanted to bring the P90 to the forefront of the next weapon choice. Maybe he can do it with the Mac 10.
Oh.
And he actually did pretty well in Dubai with it, but you know, we'll see if he can find something here.
It's one of those things, like obviously you get a lot of cash for every Mac 10 kill, and obviously he knows Fnatic are low as well, so this is actually
It's a worthy
kind of interesting to see what he can do with it. But 3 players going pretty fast here towards the A apartments, not messing around at all. Not going to be smoked out as well, but it's going to be chaos here as they enter the A bomb site.
Nice counter flashes coming out from Fnatic and at least slow them down here. Den's going to try and readjust towards the site, and NiP playing from behind the smoke, not really paying off until then. Exist does find JW, but we're down to a 4v4, and a lot of the Fnatic players are in the perfect position, and NiP just having to be in a bit of a standoff here.
Yeah, you can see it's definite NiP homework coming to life here. That's like a nice little execute from them. Very fast and aggressive, but man advantage going in towards Fnatic here. 4 on 3, they are stuck in the pit and no real control of the bomb side as well. They need someone to find a frag here. Exist flashed out of the apartments. Have got players in the pit as well, but it's going to be Exist to open up. Takes down Olofmeister, and now they can calm down a little bit. No one has to face it all at the same time. As Friday drops, and unfortunately Forest will join him as well. And in the end, it's a very simple procedure for Flasher. He takes all 3 down, but you can see some threat magic coming through there, Lauren. And that was we've never seen anything like that from NiP before, especially on Inferno. So they're walking 3 players very quickly towards the end of apartments, and this wall of smoke gets dropped the second before they execute there, and then that's them bursting out. They want to get full pit control, and the idea is no one's really supposed to die in that situation. You want to be doing flashes over the top, but unfortunately Fnatic have got full control. They're pushing through the smoke. Flashes just causing absolute chaos there, and they lose the first man, but they did have control of the pit, and when Exist found that pick, you thought, okay, they could actually do this.
You'd almost have hoped as well that maybe the bomb wasn't as committed to that awkward angle. It's just tucked by the truck as well, because maybe they could have worked around it, because they still actually had a lot of time left as well. But
sure, that's the thing. That's when I said when they got that first pick, no one had to go crazy then.
Yeah, they could have just hit the brakes a little.
Faced, I'm guessing I didn't see it from his perspective. I'd be interested to see how that went down, but he got dropped, and then Flusher picked up all 3. As we go into round number 20, it's going to be 10 plays 9 now. And NiP, after 3 successful opening rounds, do have AK still. And Flusher, of course, just back on the CZ as well.
Get right doing what renowned for his working his way through those apartments on this map. He's so good at doing it. And Olof was giving us a bit of a masterclass as well on their T side, so certainly a case. But it looks like NiP once again working down that timer, trying to get as much away from Fnatic as they can. But Fnatic are pretty well set. Apart from Flasher just on the CZ, but as said, and as we always say, it's always Flasher, so you can never quite write him out.
Well, he treats all the lower weapons as rifles. Like he'll use a Tech 9 and
the UMP
shotguns and UMPs. Like it's just like the cheesiest player in the game, but you can't really argue with the results, to be fair.
It works filthily well at times. It's kind of surprising to see how well it works, but it does. And again, a little bit of a slower approach from NiP, not losing players early. Probably more of a passive, slower approach, a little bit more, I guess, well placed. And now, can they follow this up though? Actually, Get Right, does he know that he's surrounded? He's just going to pile out. Look at this play, it's so aggressive, it's beautiful. Forest found one as well, so they've actually cleared out this side of the map. Beautiful smoke in play, and again, a set piece that we've not seen from NiP in a long time, or at all, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just all down to Get Right there. There's really good control and awareness of what he had to do once he gets out of that smoke. Perfect flashbang comes in, and it's Forest backing him up, getting that kill on the apartments player as well. It's this really nice synergy going on between those guys as they're coming out, but looking like Fnatic still want to have some footing into this round. Flusher his face towards the library, gets punished by Get Right. Gets his second kill of the round, and now Olof and Crims with no real option here but to kind of bow out. But that was, like you said, it was actually very impressive from NiP. All came out to Get Right's movement there. That's just kind of sick, being able to flash and then negotiate your way through the smoke and find that kill. You can see the CTs didn't really know what the hell was going on in that situation.
Crims trying to buy time, stay alive, catch anyone out, but I'm actually really liking the way NiP are playing through those apartments at the moment. It's something that we haven't seen in like early NiP, back on the old versions of like Inferno and such, were actually very prolific at utilizing it, and
like
currently being Threat was the one casting it with us back then, so it's nice seeing them kind of going back to this sort of thing.
Like you said, we've never seen NiP coming in those tactics say, this round we're going to do X tactic, and like that's actually a very early call. You can see that they're not going for map control to start that. They're actually going, okay, 3 players in apartments, do the smoke straight away, we'll burst out. That's not a tactic, that's not like work a default and let's see what happens. That's like, we're going to do this tactic this round. You can see that's where Threat comes into this team so well. Like he has so many of these things on his sleeve. When he's playing at Acer, for example, this is what the team were famous for, having these great executions. So kind of bringing in his old strat book, I guess, and giving these guys something to work with. This is what they seriously lacked in 2015 and 2014. They looked like towards the end of it, they didn't really have much to work with. They were very lackluster in terms of strategy, but they've broken Fnatic here, and it's gone down to pistols as well, so actually pretty favourable going forward on this map.
I'm not believing it yet.
I think there's still a lot of work to do.
They're in a
very strong position.
Yeah, they've put themselves in a really good place at this point. 11-9 against Fnatic on Inferno. This may suddenly become not a great match for Fnatic, but then again, you've had two good opponents, I guess, in these instances. NiP have a chance at this one, but Olaf waiting patiently, and he bounces. He only gets one out of that, surprisingly. And Pitt could be locking down those rifles if he fancied it, but not going to take the chance. And you can see Dennis trying to respond accordingly and find something back, but Exist knowingly waiting for it in this pensive approach from NiP. Doing well so far. JW missing every bullet there. Or at least maybe hitting one towards Get Right, but in the end, NiP doing well in this. Flusher, not going to find much either, and NiP just with a really nice approach to this round.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, only Freiburg has dropped so far, and Flusher and Grims remain. Grims does have M4A4. They managed to take down Freiburg. That's about it. They're going to be saving an AK as well. It's looking like, yeah, he's going to be swapping that over to the teammate, and they're just trying to save those weapons. And could we just have a look at the money for Fnatic at the moment? So after this, they get $1,900. It'll be a really difficult buy. These two guns are like everything right now. If they can keep these two, they've got something to work with. They get FAMASs and kind of spread the economy about, but they need to stay alive here to have a chance of buying up next round. You can see Flush is on 1,400, right? So
I don't think NiP's chasing this one, so they're pretty much set for these going forward. But this is the one thing I want to say is I don't know. I'm trying to think back to the amount that I guess Fnatic have ever been known to counter-strat people in any way, shape, or form, because I don't think they're particularly a prolific team at that. But it's like, how much can you read into the new NiP? Because they seem like a very different beast right now.
I know, this is the whole thing. This is the one thing they've got going for them in 2016 is no one knows what they really do. Like, in terms of, like, this is the first LAN we've seen them. We've only really seen them in Pro League, and so I think we've only really seen Mirage and Train as well. Can't remember much else. Maybe an Overpass as well.
I think there was an Overpass in there, but I don't think it
we
went
definitely
well.
haven't seen Inferno in any sort of official capacity. And this is what I'm talking about. Saving those two weapons for Fnatic means they do get a scout and some M4s, and the lack of head armor obviously doesn't really matter against AKs, but without those two saved weapons, this would have been a horrible situation. But this is workable. Flush is on the scout, and you can see now NiP is trying to work out what kind of financial situation they're up against.
Okay, right, again, taking this control to the apartments. It's started to work out well for them. No one's really been challenging him yet, and I don't particularly think this is the round for Fnatic to try and start taking fights across the map in any sort of aggressive stance here. But Fnatic do need to start considering their options, because at what may be 13-9, it starts not, to not look so close at that point, and things start getting a little bit scary. It is Fnatic still; they can all turn on a dime, but
absolutely. Well, this is one of their trademark rounds, kind of clutching at straws with the economy, but not too bad. They actually have smokes and an incendiary, but it's just that scout's the only downfall here, but not up against an AWP this time. So actually Flusher can do something with this. NiP edging their way out towards middle. Have got control of Boiler as well to Get Right. Just kind of scouting it out, but it's going to be Flusher giving away his weapon and his position as well. And then we'll be falling back to the library corner.
Again, the clock is slowly ticking away. 40 seconds left. A fair bit of room to work with. Those mollies will speed things up. They don't have to check the corners as intensely, and they can kind of get things rolling. It looks as though we're going to once again see Get Right's play coming through the apartments, but that bomb's still not quite with them. It's joining up now, so we've got the three players tucked very close to the side for Fnatic. JW towards Pit a little more, and then one inside, and then just one off towards the side of CT Arch, and here comes Get Right again, waiting those flashes. JW this time is going to be the one to deal with this. He's backed away a bit here, and they're going to go off it, but here's JW, comes in perfectly with Dennis, and the combination is flawless again, and Forrest, the last man standing, 1v3 now. He took down the first. There's no chance in it.
I think Get Right missed his smoke a little bit there.
Yeah.
Like when he right-clicked it, he was expecting it to land on that balcony area, just to eradicate that player.
That angle.
So coming from library, coming from the bomb site, like he can go in towards the pit there. But you saw it when he thrown it through. You can see it on the screen right now. It's just below. So that gives away everyone's position coming out of the apartments. It's a full crossfire from Fnatic, and it's just those small little details that can give like one or two frags away, and that's essentially a round, right? So that's kind of disappointing from NiP. Like as a round, they definitely had footing in and definitely had control of the money, but Fnatic bouncing back now.
You see Get Right, the previous time they ran that, playing it perfectly. This time one missed smoke and it all can fall apart. So I wonder if he'll have the guts, the gall to do it again. It'll be certainly a tough one to go for, but they are going once again towards a bomb. These guys are starting to really work this and negating B almost completely, who've seen minimal presence towards that B side of things for the T side. They've been kind of saying, screw that, don't really fancy
the This is the same tactic again.
And it is, but let's see if that smoke's going to land. If they do go for it again, there's more players in towards apartments though this time.
It's the exact same strat once again.
The wall of smoke. Here we go. This time they're a little bit ahead of it, but they do trade out relatively efficiently, but it's JW still standing. They have 3 players now in the apartments, and that nade could do some serious damage. Get Right does just about stay alive, but this time Fnatic reading it well.
Yeah, they were just completely set up for that. The thing I don't really like about the one is they're coming out before the smokes bloom. I'd like it if they could time it perfectly to have it, but as we said, though, it has come down to a 3-on-3. Forest taking down JW. This next kill is going to mean a lot for them. Flash on the bomb site, just somehow avoiding death for so long here. He's going to go down to the USP, and will he pick up a kill? Somehow he does. He gets a double as well. Forest, just the last remaining player now. He's on very low HP indeed, and Flusher to finish him off, but it's actually Crims that seals the deal. But what's around there from Flusher? So staying alive for so long and pulling out the USB and finding the double kill as well. It's another set piece from NiP, the same one we saw before, but this time it's just more of a blunder. You said, like I said, when you're going to do this kind of tactic, if you're running out completely dry, you at least need the smoke to be blooming just before you execute, right? That would make more sense. The fact that it's running out and hoping they find that initial kill, if you don't, it's just like such a mess, because all the smokes come down, it's looking like really confusing. You've lost the first frag, you're not really sure where to look, and yeah, unfortunately there, it's a Flusher who somehow, time and time again, looking like he's in horrible situations, just makes it work for him so well.
All right, I think we're finally getting this real Swedish derby that everyone wanted to see. This good showdown. Fnatic bringing it back around, starting to read what's starting to edge NiP ahead here. Not let them get away with that. Maybe a couple of mistakes here or there for NiP too. Maybe those just need to be ironed out and you could have seen a different scoreline. But that aside, Fnatic getting back into the driving seat here. friberg going to be leading the charge towards B. First time we're really seeing much attention towards it. And he just doesn't land the shot he needs to. And Olof is going to have the time of his life. Lines 3 up, knocks him down. And hell, he's going to go for the ace. Why not? Get Right, well, he's denied that small, simple pleasure. But again, we're all even here, Henry. It's 12-12. Inferno has been giving us some great games so far, especially with Fnatic being on the server. But add in NiP, and it's certainly not been a letdown.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really sick play from Olof Meister. Really controlled spray of the AKs there. Some taps chucked in for good measure as well. And it's obviously up against like a quasi-buy, like a Tech 9's and armor, but still an impressive display of skill. That's 3 in a row now for Fnatic. Like you said, bring things into 12-12. Full buy coming in for NiP this time, but the AWP has been brought out on JW.
4 players towards A for Fnatic. Keeping things very, very close by, and maybe just understand that, hey, they're just not going B on the buys at the moment. Maybe just sit around.
You need to have some presence towards B at the start of the round just to take that away, but the fact he's sat in the corner now, it gives him so much freedom to actually kind of do what he wants. Who is it at the top there? I assume it's Olof for Crims. It's going to be Crims actually. So yeah, he's spotted the corner. He said, there's literally no presence here. They haven't smoked me off. They haven't Molotov me. You can keep 4 players there all day long. I'll tell you when to come back.
Even he's getting starting to walk back, so he could maybe go for the quick jump off towards A. But I'd love NiP to maybe read into that and go, maybe I could do something like this. But no, they're going straight barreling. There's 4 players waiting. They better be on point with this. JW somehow making her way alive, and NiP are up there, and he just about doesn't land the shot. They are missing by a whisker, but Flusher is not going to miss. He gets down 2 already, and there's Dennis finally coming into the action. It's Pit and Exist putting in the hard work for NiP right now. But where is that bomb? Still down towards quad. Crims in the 1v2. He was the solo player on B. He held back. He waited. And now he has to clutch this out.
This is the thing, 2-on-1. Crims definitely one of the clutch masters of Fnatic. Let's see what he can do here. friberg and Pit, both on the bomb side. Everyone committing towards that Pit area, but it's going to be friberg over-committing there. And this is a problem as it comes down to a 1-on-1. Crims needs to find 1 player on the bomb, still has time to play with as well. Just kind of sell that he's going on towards quad perhaps, and now time running out, needs to work out how he's going to approach this one. Pit in a very difficult situation.
To hold his nerve, and he does. Good play from the young man coming into this side. Just shutting down Crims, but that first shot on friberg, you started to believe. It was just like, it's all coming apart.
It's like, if you're going to give Crims an inch, he'll take a mile every time. Just rips off the head of friberg there, and Pit, like, he's in such a difficult position now. That back right side is probably one of the most difficult situations to clutch it, right? Like, obviously everyone's going to be checking it, everyone's going to be pre-firing it, but like you said, hold his nerve, and luckily he had enough time to play it to kind of make things uncomfortable for Crims there.
Dennis going over towards B this time. I'm not sure if that was just at the start of things and he's just come back around. All right, that was a little bit weird. But anyway, actually showing presence on B this time. Maybe it'll work out. And actually, yes, it does. Olof down to 7 HP. Good exchange. friberg doesn't know that yet. Maybe when the smoke dissipates, he could see maybe a little bit of the blood on the walls. But at the moment, it's paid off, and NiP have lost nothing.
Well, this is the thing. They need to ascertain as to what kind of buy they're up against right now. You can see Flusher is slightly affected. He's on the CZ once again, but 4 players for Fnatic back towards the A bomb side. Crims is looking very comfortable indeed. Like, friberg did show some presence here, and now they finally can push him back towards the bomb side. So this is actually how they should be doing it, taking that vision away. You can see the rotation coming in from the CTs now. So this is more traditional from NiP, actually biding their time and making sure they keep the CTs guessing.
But it's quite rare to see Fnatic actually being toyed with like that. They're normally so good at getting that information, even on the CT side, just because of their aggression. And now, NiP actually going towards his B side. Olaf almost backed out of it. He was actually thinking, maybe this isn't it, but he's going to have to come around.
7 HP on Olaf, so he's been swapped over. He's on the CZ now. It's looking like NiP are trying to bait out some grenades here towards B, but it's actually Crims who's only got one flashbang remaining. Olaf has got a flash as well, so B is the place to go, and NiP is sending 5 players there.
Henry, this is it. Crims is going to be the player on the dot. And look at him, he gets one, but that's it. Freiburg finally comes up with the goods on the B side. Olaf gets pushed back, somehow still alive on only 7 HP. The bomb is on the site. Should be going down any second now. Freiburg already set up well. They slowed down the pace a second, seeing if maybe Fnatic wanted to push through that smoke. They're well set for this, Henry.
Well, they're going to go for it, but the looks of things, not bowing out just yet, but this is such a massive round. It's so tense. Olaf's going to be the first player to face. Actually, Dennis takes down Get Right, and now it is a natural opportunity for them to get into the bomb side.
Oh my god, they're facing and they're not winning these fights out here, and Forrest is going to be a linchpin in this one. He swings out on JW, it doesn't go well. Exist now has to be the saving grace, and he gets the tag towards JW, but while this happens, the defuse is coming in, but it's a 1v1 and he gets it! Exist just about saving that round. Just.
That was so touch and go for both teams there. The retake coming in, like you said, NiP not winning their duels, and looking like Fnatic were going to swarm the side, but Exist stepping up massively there. And he was just kind of gifted the way the setup was. Like you can see, JW is the player with the kit here. He gets taken down. It's Olaf Meister with no kit and no choice but to go for the full defuse. He comes in, and that's a bit of a sigh of relief for NiP there. That's a massive round for them. They actually get to number 14 here. And
do we start believing?
Here we go again.
Do we...
We've seen this so many times before. It seems like every single game Fnatic have played recently, it comes down to this situation.
Yeah.
It's going to be pistols, it's going to be CZs and Desert Eagles, and they have got head armor and some grenades as well, but you feel like NiP can taste the victory right now. They're so close, touching distance.
You looked at this group at the start of the day and it looked so clear-cut. Maybe a little bit of dash of someone could maybe cause an upset here or there. Maybe Fnatic could be pushed, but no one would say that you'd think, okay, well, you know, maybe the Luminosity thing you'd read into, but that's actually not a bad shout. That could happen. Inferno might have been a bit of a difficult one to guess, but then would you think, okay, NiP now could be the next one to take it?
Oh, we're about to find out. This is one of the scary rounds for Fnatic here. If they can do this, they'll probably come back and win it. But if NiP get this round, it's a full investment for Fnatic. That's actually very convincing for NiP here going forward, looking like committing 5 players towards the B side of the map as well. Crims holding that tight angle, trying to get that first Eagle headshot. But here come the smokes. It's going to be a B execution, and NiP will be committing now.
Crims, you better go wild. Not going to get much done. Good flashes though actually coming out. I'm not sure if they're team flashes or not, but they're certainly holding the back, and it's actually set them up well. Exist still going to break through though. Going to catch out Crims, but they know that other players are on the site now. And Flush's nade has for Freiburg. Pit's low, Exist is low. Can they do any more with this? Those CZs are still so deadly. They've got a kit on JW. This round is not done just yet. That bomb is not down. And look at Pit, he's called out, but somehow alive on 3 HP, Henry. This is ridiculous. How are Fnatic getting so close yet not taking him down?
It's so apprehensive from NiP. They finally get the bomb down, and Forest should seal the deal there, taking down Dennis. But look at the HP. Still something to work with here, and that's going to be the first kill. Flusher takes down Exist. 3 on 2 now. They need to find the next kill, but definitely still possible here.
Exist was the saving grace before. Surely they can remember how close that got, and they do not want to relive this, but there's armor, there's rifles. Fnatic have a lot to work with here, and Forest, they know his position. They're going to take that fight. It's now down to a 2v2. Pit's got 3 HP. They've still got the kit on JW. They're going to take these fights, and hell, they might just win them. It's down to Pit, and he gets taken down. JW gets the kill. But
not like
time
this.
is so low, but he does have it in the bag, and NiP, you could see the frustration on their face.
They were so scared to get into the bomb site there. No one wanted to commit. No one wanted to go in there and actually clear it out. They were just being so apprehensive. The bomb finally gets planted, but they were just, the damage had already been done at that point. And this is a tactical pause from Fnatic. This is just to rub it in. This is like, guys, you can stew over that for a few minutes. Like, just have a little argument if you like, and think about what you've done. Because look at the money now for NiP.
Think about what you've done.
That's just a classic. That's just a classic kind of like panic play. You don't know how much is on the line right now, and you're thinking, right, we need to get in this side. We've got the first kill. It's a 5 on 4.
Just don't pick it.
You've smoked off spawn. You smoked off spools. Why are you not getting on that side and sticking together as a unit? You just look so scared, and you can feel the shots coming from CD spawn. No one wants to cross, and no one wants to actually get through. People are making questionable decisions, and the 3 on 2, like I said, as soon as I saw how low their HP was, you thought Fnatic could do this. This is all there all day long, and that's going to be so demoralizing. I hope it's a tactical pause from Fnatic, like I said, just to kind of let them kind of think about it and thought, wow, we could have actually just won the game there. But now we're going to have to work twice as hard.
You're a cruel man, Henry.
Well, like if they have to know like that, that's a really cool move from Fnatic.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
That's just like, you know what? You guys are going to be
Gutting.
regretting that.
Yeah, that is a gutting moment. Maybe they can recover. Maybe this is where the... I'm trying to find silver lining.
Ever the optimist.
You've got to be, Henry. You've got to be.
Like how the roles are reversed now. Now you're the big NiP fangirl, and I'm up against them.
I bet you'd love to be up against them, Henry, but that's not the point right now.
Nice. Probably
Keeping
the
it classy.
best burn you've ever done to me. So
I don't,
like it.
I'm not, you know, I'm a nice person normally, but I think we are getting back on the way. But this is where I'm hoping we'd see the influence of Threat coming in to stop that frustration. Because I know I was speaking to Get Right about it, and you're saying, you know, just even having him back in comms, it really makes, you know, a nice atmosphere in this one. So I'm hoping maybe they rebound, but this buy is
Look, they can see like Fnatic's money right now. Had NiP won that round, they would have had nothing to work with this round. That would have been the GG moment right there. But now it's NiP that have been broken. They're onto the PT50s. It's going to become 14-14. This could go to overtime, but I'm kind of sensing a Fnatic victory at this stage.
You can't write them out. These guys, relentless.
Just after that round, like that's the morale. Like he's on an all-time high, so right up here on the mountain, right, then he plummets into the pits of hell after that kind of round. Like just people panicking and not really just being coordinated and sticking together. You had the man advantage, and you somehow just don't plant the bomb. Everyone's so scared.
It's like when it's frustrating when you lose like 5v4s or, you know, 5v2s. Just, you know, communication can break down and it gets annoying. But in that instant, that's probably like the most frustrating thing.
That just puts you fully on tilt at that point. It's just like, oh my god, guys, are we for real?
All right, but can NiP recover? This is the thing. This is going to take a lot mentally for them just to forget that, especially when Fnatic just gave them that stewing time.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't a round they're going to do particularly wonders in. You can imagine, you'd assume that this is not going to go so well. They're not quite the Fnatic or the Envy in these sort of instances. They're not the guys who can forge stuff out of nowhere. So but they seem to have a plan.
This is the... Right, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen right now. It's going to look like a full banana execute. You can see the bombs towards apartments. They're hoping everyone rotates straight away as soon as all this grenades and smokes go over, and they're going to hope they can walk into the A bomb site and have a free... complete open site here, but I'm not sure Fnatic will fall for this. Until flags start coming in, they spot the bomb, they're not going to rotate straight away.
JW's the man in pit. He's the one who is the last standing beacon of this A site, and actually they've caused a couple of players to be hesitant. Dennis is like, no, screw this, I'm back. But all right, Get Right, let's see what he can do. He gets the tag there, he actually makes it out. Can't quite get the kill though, and now it looks as though Fnatic have kept it in check. That was maybe the one factor that could have helped out. If Get Right did get that kill, they could maybe then focus towards Dennis, and then all back to back, maybe if and but. Main thing here is Fnatic are keeping this one in hand.
This is the thing, NiP would have loved a bomb on there, just because you can see like that would have given every player an extra $800 and they had a really strong buy. Now they've got Galils, now they have a lack of utility, and you can see that was everything. That's the whole objective of that round, get the bomb down, and we have that cash for the round number 29 here. It's going to go the full distance, but Fnatic definitely in the driving seat. And Flusher once again, just as that CZ, this is almost every single round it feels like, but what the hell?
Yeah. I can't doubt it when it actually does work out pretty well. He recovers a lot of the rifles that even do occasionally get dropped. He's always in a good position to work with it. But what do NiP go to? Where in the playbook do you start reading towards? Because
well, this is where Threat's tested, right? He's the caller right now. He's doing kind of like trying to tell these guys what to do. We've seen a lot of the set pieces not really work out for them. And it's looking like they're doing some set smokes here once again. That'll be towards Library and towards Quad, it seems as well. Flash has come up. They're going for a faster mid-take.
It looks like Fnatic expecting maybe that presence towards Catwalk, but it's actually going to be down towards CT Arch, but it's Flusher with the CZ. He only gets one, though. Trades that out. Freiburg picks him up, and now here comes the play towards the side, trying to pinch themselves in. But Dennis doesn't give a flying care in the world. And look at the crossfire. It's just Fnatic locking them down, and there we go.
And that's pretty much the final nail there. You can see the money is absolute tatters for NiP, $2,400. That's literally all they had to work with. That's what the loss bonus are getting this round. And it was a nice idea. It was another set piece
NiP
coming.
winning? Oh.
Well, no, like they did the smoke towards Library, they did smoke towards Quad, they did the flashbangs going over, but this didn't have much to work for. Dennis just so calm on the bomb site. Say, do you know what? If you're going to run through my smokes, I'm going to punish you for it. Have a go. And he just completely destroys them as they come around. Not really much to work with. It was Flusher just with that CZ. All he had to do was just take one down with him, get the intel, and his teammates could sit on the bomb site and wait. And
credit again to Fnatic. Beautiful composure. Even though they were down and very close to being out throughout this matchup, bring themselves back to this point, at least at a minimum overtime now, as it will be the Tech-9s, the Mollies, and that's about your lot. Not a great deal else for NiP in this one, and Flusher this time actually gets a weapon, so really going all out here.
Well then, Tech-9s, they've opted to go for the heavy utility play here, so you'd assume it'd be more of a BXQ perhaps here. Pit's getting toward the top of Crims, aggressive towards the top of B here, just trying to spot anything he can. We'll decide to fall back at this stage, but they've got Molotovs, they've got smoke grenades. if they want this to go overtime, it's going to have to be a really clean execution here. They can't be like as apprehensive as they were before. Need to make sure they're going in, sticking together, and cleaning out the bomb site effectively.
All right, Pit working off the back of the molly and the flash that Freiburg set for him. They've now got some control of Banana. They have no presence towards A. No one is being fooled by this. It's Crim's waiting, and they know what's up. He's going to back away, switch over, find the M4. So he had the AWP first of all, but now he's going to get the M4 out. They have so much money to play with. It's beautiful. And yet no commitment. NiP hit the brakes. Yeah,
this is the full execution coming out. So that's going to Molotov the new boxes for Get Right, and then the team will go in and hopefully they've got some players out of position, but it's not going to happen so far. But Pit does find that first kill on the Crimson CD spawn, and now they have some options here. Gets a second kill as well. Are we going to overtime? It's a 5-on-3.
There's still Olof, Henry. You can never write this man out. He is right primed in the perfect position. He just about dodges out of the smoke as well. NiP have the side, but Olof has already Get Right scalp to add to his collection, as now it's down to this 4v3, Dennis, JW and Olof on the retake. Flashbacks of that previous round will be coming to mind. But this time we've got the Tech 9s. And hell, everything is on this.
Absolutely, this is it now. It's going to be the man advantage for NiP. Fnatic coming in slowly but surely. Is trying to find his first pick. Dennis going to be the one to open up the bomb site.
Dennis leading the way here. It's going to be Freiburg to meet the first challenge, and he meets the barrel of Dennis's gun. Is down to a 3v3, and the bomb is being defused. It's coming.
Oh my God!
They get it. What a way to lose.
No, not like this.
Again.
No. That's so gutting. 2 abomination rounds there for NiP. They have to get their first 2 picks.
I'm done, Henry.
And they just weren't thinking about the bomb, I guess. That's kind of crazy. Obviously up against it with the weaponry and the equipment, but once the bomb's down and all the smoke's coming in, someone needs to do something about it. You can't just sit back and hope for the best, and Fnatic steal it. The dreams away from NiP, what seemed like an overtime there. Pit coming to life in that final round. Double Tech 9 kill. Yeah. But like you said, Olof's on the site, and that's going to be so dejecting for NiP.
I think you can tell.
Like, you must, I guess, again, the hype levels get there like to the maximum they possibly can, and then they come crashing down. The overtime is not going to happen. And NiP, you got to feel bad for them after going 6-0 up and coming so close to actually winning the game there. It's just the classic Fnatic things there once again. They get that first pick, and they're losing to the CZ on the bomb site. Last round comes in, looking like they get their first 2 kills, and
I don't know what to say. Any NiP
You've seen everything.
Yeah, this has been the complete masterclass of what Fnatic can do to teams, no matter what the scoreline is. Like, hey, you guys were almost ready to win a game, and we only had like maybe a deagle or 2, a couple of CZs, nothing much. Let me just ruin your day for you there. And then the retake comes out, the diffuse, the full diffuser was coming in.
That was like, I saw, like, we didn't actually see the diffuse on the screen, but as soon as I kind of saw the smoke on the bomb, I was like, oh god,
it's happening.
No.
Not like this.
Yeah, I thought, oh god. No. I thought like we were going to see overtime, everything resets, and then everything I guess would be a really cool game going forward there. But of course, it ends in the fashion it kind of started going horribly wrong for NiP there. Like, they were so close. Well, they were 14 rounds, and up against Fnatic were on like 12, and then the full reset comes in, and then slowly but surely Fnatic just drill the way into it. But for NiP, we have seen some signs of life in them, right? So we've seen them kind of adjusting their play. They're not so static, I guess. They're not just doing defaults time and time again. They have these executions now. You can see Threat's kind of playbook coming into play. But
it's still early days with them, I guess.
Yeah.
But that is a very heartbreaking game for NiP to lose. But going on to the victors, it's all about Fnatic. No matter the odds, they do seem to pick up the victories. So guys, let's hear from OJ with the interview.
They do indeed seem to do that. Fnatic, they don't lose 2 on the trot, do they?
No.
He's a man of few words. And I was talking just before I came to do this interview with Anders, and he said, why don't you ask him a question like, do they ever get kept up at night knowing they let teams have dreams of beating us, letting teams get close to beating us, and then just ending those dreams?
Yeah, I think like we always play like 10 times better under huge pressure, I think. And when the other teams make mistakes during those moments, we like take advantage of those mistakes. And yeah, I don't know. I think we are so confident in our own game that we know it doesn't matter if they have 15 or whatever. We can always climb back. So I think it's our confidence that's doing it.
So what was being said during the team? You lose a match, you go 6-0 down. What was said between you? Because at that point, that really isn't how we know Fnatic play.
Nah, when we were down like 6-0, we talked a lot about we didn't revenge frag and stuff like that. We didn't really play as a team. So, and then some people did some hero rounds and stuff like that, and we just got the ball rolling. So, yeah, I think we just were pretty maybe tilted because of the loss or something. But I'm glad we could pick it up again.
Well, it was a great win, but talk me through that loss. You did lose to Luminosity. It was a big win for them. In your eyes, why did you lose that?
because they played better. It's as simple as that. They played better Counter-Strike than us, both individually and tactically, and I missed very crucial easy shots and stuff like that. So I think they just simply played better than us, so we just need to refocus.
Do you think they're taking anything from how you play? Because I was talking afterwards, I interviewed him afterwards, and he was saying, you know, we try and be like Fnatic. We were trying to take the emotion out, we're trying to stay calm and just play our natural game. Do you think people are now learning for how you play Counter-Strike?
Yeah, I think people are trying to find what we have. But I would say like the biggest and best thing we have is our communication. I think we are like the best team in the world when it actually comes down to communication and talking together and like come up with decisions on what to do in specific rounds and stuff like that. We have a lot of rounds, but we also like come up with a new rounds in the middle of a round. So we just talk very good. So I think we are the most watched team at the moment, especially going into the major, of course, the 1 million tournament, and this tournament as well. I think this is where people maybe will try stuff against us and see if it works or not. And if it works, they're gonna use it, and if it doesn't work, they won't use it. So I think this is a tournament where people will try to feed a lot on our game, I think. So I definitely think people look after us.
And just on that communication you were talking about there, the fact that you do communicate so well as a team, does that mean that you're always talking, or does that mean that you can talk a play through just in a few words because you know each other so well, because you're so close away from Counter-Strike playing it, that you can say a couple of words and everyone knows what they've got to do at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's like we have played so much together now, maybe not super much with Dennis, but it gets better and better every day. It's like when I do something, they know how to react on that, and when Olof does something, we know how to react. And when we need a round or something, we just say in the middle of the round, like, okay, put a smoke there, put a smoke there. It's just as simple as that.
Thank you very much. There you go, Matt. Unspoken communication from Fnatic.
It's telepathic. It's that Swedish magic. What can I say? It's just all in the mind. Speaking of the magic, once again, there was a round. We said with Taco that 1 HP might have saved the game because it was against the eco round of Fnatic. This time they get it against the NiP and they go on to win.
Well, I mean, real quick, nothing to do with this match. Well, maybe a little bit, but, you know, like, actually, the telepathic sort of thing, you know who believes in that? Happy.
Does he actually?
Yep.
He's got that
like,
whole...
It exists, bro. It exists. You know, we were talking about it. I'm like, you know, Fnatic, they just don't talk. Because we were watching Crims, right? And it's crazy how Crims just doesn't actually ever talk. He just sits there and does things, and they all play around each other so well, despite there being like a minimum amount of communication going on between them all. And so, you know, Happy and I were just like, okay, how does this work? Is it the hive mind? Are they reading each other? He's just like, that exists, bro. No, it happens. So, I'm telling you, that's it, man. Happy. Who knows? I don't know.
And I've officially written crazy beside Happy's name for my notes. We'll get to that tomorrow when they play in Group B. But let's get, again, to this game. That's a ridiculous way to lose from NiP. Overfacing on that eco round. They end up losing it on a retake that looked like Fnatic didn't even have the confidence to go for.
Yeah, well, I mean, NiP's T side looked great.
Yep.
And this is the heartbreak. They really actually lost that match when they go up 6-0 as CT, and then they lose the half 8-7. Like, that can't happen. When you're up 6-0 especially, to have a fantastic T-side the way they did and still lose the match. I mean, you get, what, that must have been 7 rounds against Fnatic on your T-side? Like, that should be a win right there. So that CT side, that collapse, that right outside of that Fnatic pause is just brutal.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, you know, because we're going to come back actually to, you know, that hive mind, because NiP were like the ones who spawned it, right? You know, it used to be very games with the tactical approach, and NiP were the ones who just seemed to be able to read each other's minds and play off of each other so perfectly, right? Because they had that supreme confidence, and that's what Fnatic have right now, for example. Fnatic, they are able to play so aggressively on Dust 2 earlier, like we saw, where like it's just, it all builds off of confidence and knowing that you are the superior team, you will take these duels, you will win these duels, and then you've all got each other's backs, right? We could see in that last round, for example, and this was actually, was I talking with you about this? Why didn't they peek? Yeah. You know, why didn't they peek Olafmeister when he wrapped around onto the site? And to me, that's where we see NiP, who aren't playing to win, they're playing not to lose. Because if they are playing to win, then they've got that confidence to get out there, take that fight, take that trade, and keep them off the bomb. And instead what happened is they all just turtled up. So my theory was perhaps, you know, they're afraid of the trade coming in, but I think now, you know, thinking a little bit more about it, it's more just like NiP are just too scared to do anything. They're just like, okay, well, you know, if we don't face, then we don't die, right?
Yeah.
But problem is they're already defusing the bomb, bro. Like, you need to actually get out there and take that fight.
And just to paint the picture a little clearer, to be specific about what we were talking about, when Olaf wrapped to get the kill in construction, there was a player at New Box that had a chance for a free peek and didn't take it. That's what you're kind of referring to in
Yeah,
that situation.
right.
There was also
and then JW survives 1 HP.
There was also
by the way.
Forrest, who's in construction with low HP, and he didn't want to take the fight because of his HP. But either way, that round was a really cool round from NiP. That's something that we don't see tactically out of them, and converting into CT spawn. We all brought it up. That was such a cool call to take over that bomb site in a 4-3. But unspoken in that round is Olaf, who was actually the last one in the site for Fnatic. And instead of taking a fight and trying to get 1 or 2 kills there and dying afterwards, no matter what, he was trapped behind a smoke. He just works his way through the smoke over to Banana and just survives and waits for his teammates to come in. So it's just that kind of team play out of Fnatic where, you know, they talked about we try to do too many hero plays. Olaf there makes the team play, and they win it off that.
And speaking of team play as well, on that last one, the spray, the guy lives with 1 HP. You know why he probably lives off of 1 HP? Because again, Olaf literally throws himself in front of the diffuser in the likely angle. Like, he stands in front of Dark and absorbs bullets for this guy who's defusing the bomb. Like, that's some team play right there. Just
sick.
Okay, Mr. President, I got you. You know, like
it was 1 HP for JW. 1
insane.
HP, which goes back to if they take the trade sooner, that kill should have been there. We would have been in overtime right now potentially. I mean, there's a lot of things we could touch on. I do want to look at one positive thing from NiP, the execution. They touched on it a little bit in the game. There were set plays that were coming out, which is probably the influence of threat. Pitt had a good game, okay, we'll highlight that too, but I think the threat influence is definitely apparent already.
Yeah, which surprised me, because before I said I didn't think he had enough time with it. And for however little time he's had with them, the T side, like I said, was fantastic. So obviously he's put some work in, and that worked out really well. But it's just a bummer that we didn't see this NiP against Mouse Sports earlier today.
Yeah. They're going to be kicking themselves.
Yep.
Everybody in the group is actually going to be kicking themselves because that really went the opposite of how it was supposed to be. Everybody in their mind, you know, Na'Vi, all these guys are like, okay, this is probably how it's going to play out, and then just like a wrench gets thrown into the works immediately right off the bat, and everything's out of whack because then Na'Vi lose their matches as well, and now it turns into a much more messy sort of round.
Well, I'm going to bring up, keep going, I'm just going to bring it up right now so we can look where we sit.
So yeah, 3 wins, 1 loss for Fnatic. Of course, Fnatic sitting at the top of the pack. That's pretty much what we expect of these guys coming into it, heavily favored. Okay, well, there's the group. You guys can see the group. I want to talk a little bit more about NiP because it's really interesting. You're right to say that, Threat is clearly having an impact, but again, it comes down to, that ability to just close things out because the strat that he's calling is correct. It's how they're playing after that once it's executed, once they're trying to hold on to the site where it gets all, it gets wonky seemingly here for NiP. They're still missing that element of confidence that's going to allow them to play off of each other and secure the round, not just get onto the bomb site.
Well, you know who has confidence?
Is it really 1-3 for NiP now? Have they actually played the 4th game, or is that? I thought they were 1-2 at this point. They lost to Moss Sports, won against Mongols, and then they lost to Fnatic.
Would be 1-2.
So I think it's 1-2 for NiP, unless there was a game I missed somewhere in there in the B stream. Fnatic's 2-1. That's correct.
Fnatic should be 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay, so so basically what happened is somebody made the right scores and then came back and updated it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that NiP could be potentially, again, you said the Mouse Sports game, but could potentially be 2-1, and then Fnatic would be lower in the standing. It's just to show you how close this is. Remember, there's only 3 teams that get out at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I wanted to just say who has that confidence that NiP didn't have there was Luminosity, because we saw those rounds in that Fnatic Luminosity matchup on Inferno that came down, those rounds we expect Fnatic to win, and Luminosity actually pulled them out. Well, we see the same thing against NiP down the stretch, and Fnatic wins it. It's just that little bit of confidence just worked so much better for the Brazilians.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're in a good position in this group right now as well. On the B stream, the last match, just to highlight it as well, we didn't get to see it, but Na'Vi, they did pick up their first win in convincing fashion. It was against Mouse Sports. Cobblestone as well, which Mouse Sports are fairly decent on, but Na'Vi we always talk about being one of the best.
And that's why Na'Vi are going to be even saltier with NiP. They're just like, we just dumpstered Mouse. What happened to you guys this morning, and why did you allow that to happen?
And why did you beat Fnatic to let us get back into the standings, right? Imagine that.
It's Na'Vi who are like kind of dancing on the knife's edge right now. They really need every win to go their way.
It was pretty interesting too. I caught a little bit early on of that, but there was like I didn't watch it all the way through. But Na'Vi actually, it seemed like they caught, like even Yanko was like, Mouse Sports just lost like 5 rounds in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like Na'Vi really picked up the pace, where we saw him earlier today running out of time a couple times per map. And now they pick up the pace, maybe catches Mouse Sports off guard. So a little bit of adjustment there from the Na'Vi side.
Yeah, and just to highlight as well for Fnatic, for those of you who are still rooting for them and a little bit concerned by their slow start, let's not forget that seems to be a late tradition as well. They get a slow start at a tournament and then body everyone toward the end. They sit among the top. We're going to take a short break. Before we do, don't forget to support our sponsors. Head over to plays.tv so you can get all your highlight action. And again, tweet me your favorite from the weekend, and we'll see if some Shadow Daggers are on the line. We'll see which one I like the most. And the Score Esports, we'll be back after the break to highlight our next match.